Welcome to the Real Internet Come Forth Meet the Author Session Live. My name is Internet Smith and I'm your author. Remember to get your books, people. Some of them are on sale at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Google, Apple iTunes, Walmart.com, Target.com, Books A Million, Kobo, Indigo, and Tails. All of them come in paperback and digital version. Get your copies today. Remember, we are reading from the Real Internet Come Forth book series, Value 1, 2, and 3. We are currently reading Value number 1, which is titled The Darkness Begins, and we're talking about molestation. Molestation is a subject that has affected many boys and girls, men and women. You don't have to just be a child to be molested. Grown adults are molested as well. So we're going to talk about it. So if you have any questions or comments or concern, please send them and I will address them live. Okay, thank you for continuing to watch these videos, share these videos, and share with your friends and family and your loved ones. If you know anyone that is a victim of molestation and that could benefit from these videos and these readings that I'm doing, because I'm sharing my life story. This is my life story. I was molested from age 4 to 11 by over 7 different people at different times. So if you know that they may benefit from it, to be encouraged to know that they can come out of it. God can heal and deliver them from the stench and the stain of the molestation, the foul smellness that it leaves, the heartbreak that it leaves behind, the untrusting people, the make you become a person that you never dreamed of being, or never, that God never intended for you to be. So you know, let them know about these videos, let them know about my book, so we can talk and engage in different conversations, okay, to promote health and healing. All right, thank you in advance. So we are reading from chapter 4, and it is titled Personality Change, and this is age 8. I'm 8 years old now, and yes, I still wet the bed. Yes, I still think about what happened to me. I still play with my dolls. I have become a big liar, a fighter, extremely rebellious, and a thief. I really didn't plan to be like this. I was a sweet little girl, happy, always laughing, smiling, and playing jokes, helping people, helping my parents around the house, helping my grandmothers with everything they needed. I loved to go to church. I loved to learn of Christ. I love school. I love learning and being around people. But there is a hidden side of me that is out of control, a monster. Totally opposite of the sweet little helpful smart girl everyone loves. When my mother told my fathers about my behavior, they didn't believe her. When my mom told my aunts about my behavior, they thought she was just had too much to drink. My whole family was convinced that no way this little sweet girl would be doing all of these things that she would be accused of. And it's partially true. I didn't do everything I was accused of, only almost all of it. So I said to myself, I don't believe, so she don't believe me. So when I tell the truth, so I just lie all the time. I'm still gonna get beat. At least I would have done something wrong for real, anything. My grandmother is living with us now, my mother's mother. She has just been put on kidney dialysis. She goes to treatment on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The van picks her up from our house. Each time she comes home, she has these cups of fruit. She doesn't eat them. She gives them to her grandchildren, usually the ones that gets her out of the van first or help her. Now, my grandmother and my aunt favored my brother Andre over all the grandchildren. My aunt and my grandmother lived 3 houses down from us. We were there day in and day out. My grandmother would make us apple turnovers with hot tea every Sunday morning before church. We would go eat at her house every Sunday morning. She would rarely let us stay the night because they live right there, but occasionally we would. Excuse me. On one particular night, my grandmother and aunt wouldn't let me spend the night because I would talk back and be disrespectful to them in some kind of way. But they allowed my brother to stay. So they fed us dinner, chicken and rice, I believe. And my brother was teasing me because I couldn't stay. I was upset, and I said I said the least. So I ate dinner and begged to stay. They said, no, no, no. I left stumping my feet and talking smart. I didn't want to stay at your ugly, stinking house anyway, and slammed the door. My aunt came to the door and said, "That's why your little black blank ain't staying the night. Your mouth is too smart." The next morning, I ran down to my grandmother's house and woke my brother up. He was still asleep. When he got up from under the covers, his shirt fell off of him. Mice had eaten his clothes while he was asleep on the floor last night. I laughed and said, "That's what you get because you laughed at me because I couldn't stay the night." My aunt said, "I told you to don't be lying down eating and to wash your hands before you go to bed." So I'm still laughing and she puts me out of the house. I said, "I don't care. Y'all got rats. I don't want to stay in this stinking house anyway. Come on, Andre, let's go home." And we left. While walking home, I said to my brother, "Mama gonna get ready. Mama getting Mama getting ready to go. We can go look at what's behind those huge rocks." There was a construction site at the end of our street where they had torn down two houses and drilled the cement up as well. There were huge stacks of concrete there, but we were warned to never go near it. Once again, I convinced my brother and cousins and all the children in the neighborhood to see the construction site up close. There we was, the 10 of us, and we went in and we were jumping on and over the rocks. We made a game out of it. We played hide and seek behind the rocks. We were jumping over the rocks to see who could jump the furthest. My brother fell. He fell into a huge rock and busted open his kneecap. Oh my God, Mama gonna kill us for sure. Blood was everywhere. So we got him up and ran to the neighbor's house and told him that my brother was hurt and that our parents were gone. So the neighbor immediately called the ambulance because she couldn't stop my brother's knee from bleeding. And he was screaming at the top of his lungs. He could really be dramatic at times. But I really felt bad for him this time. I just wanted us to have fun. So they called my mom, who was, wait a minute. So she called my mother, who was at the tavern at the time, to inform her that a tragedy was at hand. My brother left in the ambulance. When my brother returned home, he was on crutches with a swollen knee. They had to perform surgery on him. My heart just broke for him. I say, "Andre, I'm sorry. I'll help you until you get better." So for the next few weeks, I served him hand and foot, and I helped him to the bathroom. I brought him his food. I stayed mostly in the house with him. We stayed in the house and played Pac-Man on our Atari. It's one of the first video games that were made. As my brother healed from his knee accident, I was semi-good mainly because I was in the house. My mother didn't whoop us for playing in the construction site. I'm guessing because my brother getting hurt and going to the hospital was punishment enough. My mother sent me to my father's gas station up the street from our house with a list of items to bring home. She said, "Walk to the station. Don't ride your bike because you're going to break my eggs." I said, "Okay," went right outside and got on my bike. I figured I was a good enough rider without my hands on the handlebars. I did it all the time. I made it to my father's gas station and gave a list to my sister who was working there, my sister from my real father. My real father said there were 32 of us, and I'm the baby. So this sister was grown with children older than me. She gave me the list of items. "Leave the bike here and take your mom the items: milk, eggs, bread." I told her, "I got it. I can ride with no hands." She said, "Okay, if you break those eggs, I'm not sending more." I started out on my bike. There was a church between our house and the gas station. I rode my bike across the parking lot and went to and from my father's store, but there was a dip in the sidewalk when you reached our yard. I forgot about that. When I hit that dip in the sidewalk, the bag lifted and fell out of my hand. Oh my, I'm gonna be getting beaten for a lifetime. Plus, my sister is going to tell my father I was disobedient to her and my mom. I got off the bike and picked up the bag. The eggs were broken. The carton of milk was wasted, plus the bread was smashed. So I threw the milk carton on the ground and went home. I gave my mom the bag and she said, "Where's the milk? And why are my eggs broke?" I immediately lied and said they didn't have no milk, and those eggs was like that when she gave them to me. My mom told my second to the oldest brother to walk through the pathway to see if you see milk anywhere. see anywhere from there to the station. I'm scared now because he is not going to lie for me like Andre. He is going to tell the truth. Couple of minutes later, my brother walked in the house with the milk carton. I peed in my pants. She said, I gonna go. I said, I gotta go pee. Excuse me. My mom said, yes, because I'm going to stop you from that line. I tried to stay in the bathroom. She said, bring your blank out here now. My mother had an extension cord, and I said, I can take off, you can take off your shorts. I'm going to stop you from lying today. She beat me back to my grandmother and auntie house. She beat me all the way back to my grandmother and auntie for lying to my sister for dropping the milk and breaking the eggs. When my mom got off me, black as I am, I was red all over. And all I could do was go to sleep. She had never whooped me like this before. She really tried to beat me for lying. She really tried to beat the lying spirit out of me that day. You would think that I would begin to behave like a normal little girl after this beating. Sorry, I didn't. My grandmother used to eat cornstarch out of the box and keep it in the refrigerator. She would give us some if we helped her bathe, get her out of the bathroom, or bring her water. Well, I got tired of always being called to help her out of the bathroom without my brothers. I would give them starch for she would give them starch for nothing. Sitting with her watching TV, they got starch. I just asked her and she would say, "Yeah, get you a little baby." But then when they would ask her and she'd say, "Yeah, get you a little baby." But then when I asked for some, I gotta go get a glass of water. I gotta bring her this and that. So I no longer asked for starch. I went to the refrigerator and there it was wherever I felt like it. I would act like it. I would act like it and didn't hear her calling me, or I just didn't do what she said and or asked me to do. So that went on for a couple of days until my mom was home and caught me stealing starch and annoyed my grandmother. Yep, you guessed it. I got beaten again, and it's with the extension cord for the 100th time. And I'm going to end the chapter right there. Remember to get your books, get your books, get your books. We are talking about The Darkness Began, molestation from age 5 to 11. And I'm talking about how my life began to change, how my personality began to change after being molested time and time again. So this is what we're talking about in this book. Remember, until we meet again, God gets the glory and I tell the story. Goodbye.